You by Puffin.
Frostheart 2, Escape from Aurora, by Jamie Littler. Read by Joshua Mcguire. Part 1. Aurora. Prologue. The sleigh lay in ruins dead ahead. A navigator's map was the only thing that moved, fluttering in the wind above the shattered deck. Splintered wood and shredded metal littered the desolate valley, and to Captain Norro's well-trained eye there was no other sign of immediate danger. But he was still unconvinced. "Stay sharp, lads," he said to his crew, as if they needed any warning. Cautiously he steered the ice runner forward to look for any survivors. It was a sorry sight indeed. This carnage had clearly been the work of leviathans. The terrible fang and claw marks that had torn through the sleigh's hull told Norro as much. But there was a small chance survivors could have run to the steep hillsides that bordered the valley, away from the menace that lurked beneath the snows. If that was the case, they would need the ice runner's help. Norro prayed to the spirits that it was. "Looks like it was the Morning Star," his lookout called down from the crow's nest, studying the icon painted upon the wrecked sleigh's sails as it shivered helplessly in the breeze. Norro cursed under his breath. He knew the Morning Star. They were a good crew. Another Pathfinder sleigh lost. Not for the first time, Norro questioned his life as a Pathfinder. He'd always known the dangers and had accepted them gladly if it meant he could bring Aurora's aid to the outer strongholds. But the world was changing, and Norro wasn't sure if it was a world he could survive in any longer. "I'm getting too old for this," he thought with a bitter smile. The ice runner drew alongside the ruin of the Morning Star. "Any survivors?" Norro called out to his crew. The wind whispered through the valley, snow flurrying white against the slate-grey sky. They were alone. But Norro couldn't shake the feeling that they were being watched. He knew his crew well enough to know that they felt it too. Their movements were tense and alert. And Norro's nerves weren't helped by the headache he'd had since they'd spotted the wreckage. It had started as a niggling buzz in the back of his skull, but it was growing into a distracting drone, slurring through his head. He put it down to stress. "I'm going to retire after this run," he thought. "Should have done it long ago." "Can't see anyone," the lookout called. "Not even—" His voice was cut short. Norro looked up just in time to see the man fall over the side of the crow's nest, a black arrow in his chest. Shadows began darting among the Morning Star's wreckage. Skeletal figures with ghostly white faces and twisted horns, clad in tattered black rags, spears and bows in hand. "Wraiths!" he heard a crewman shout. "We're under attack!" And then, striding from the shadows like a spectre, there was a wraith that reeked of pure menace. Its horns were larger and more gnarled than the others, its black eyes more pitiless and dead. Norro's blood went cold. The Great Horned One. Everyone knew wraiths were despicable demons that had crawled from the darkest depths of the underworld, but the Great Horned One was the worst of them. Their leader, if such evil could be led. "Engine to full power!" Norro ordered as he pulled hard on the tiller, desperate to be away, his nerves fizzling with fear. But before the engineer could react, a huge shape swooped down from above, all tail and fangs, and snatched the Pathfinder off the deck. The engine stalled, and the ice runner was suddenly dead on the snow. Norro watched in horror as grappling hooks snagged the sides of his sleigh, his men falling to poisoned arrows all around him. He was a fool. They'd been lured into a trap. Norro's aged mind was racing, but he knew he couldn't let his crew end up like that of the Morning Star. He had to get them out of there. Scrambling down from the bridge, he rushed.
Sample complete.
Ready to continue?